Hey, happy Saturday or happy Sunday. I'll try to go not go on too many tangents this week. And I just want to start out. I'm going to put a couple of links in for videos that I posted this week. One of the Hunts Point market, one of the Philadelphia market. A lot of people seem to like it. So if you haven't had a chance to look at it before, maybe you'll get a chance now. Okay. I have some not so good news. I have to tell you, all the years I've been in this business, Christmas and New Year's were always great holidays. And from a personal standpoint and people around the industry, I'm telling you, this is no holiday business. And I was afraid of that going into it because uh, people are hurting. And it's starting to show up with very, very big ramifications. Even items that historically, well, I'll give you an example, like red pepper is always hot pretty much from Thanksgiving to there really there really is no demand. And we have a lot of restaurants closing down, so that takes the edge off it. We have people not getting together, that's going to take the edge off it. We have people with no money out of work, and that is the biggest takeaway I see. The silver lining, if we ever do get Congress to the stimulus check, I think that will be a shot in the arm like it was back in March when we had our first stimulus checks, or April. Uh, that'll help, and hopefully that'll carry us into maybe some kind of rebound in health and things opening up, and that will move forward. But I have to tell you, this is not going to be, in 3 months we're going to be back the way it was this year. This is going to be a long term, uh, slow grind. I wrote an article several years ago, and I believe it today. It's and you could check on LinkedIn, uh, and that's what it is. Luxury is produce is a luxury item. Basically, what it says, produce needs a good economy to really flourish, and that's why it was so good before the pandemic. We had a great economy. But why do I say that? Well, like I said in the article, people have to pay their mortgage, have to pay their electric bill, have to make their car payments, have to put the gas in the car to go to work, all those things. Really, the only thing to cut back on is food. And then your competition becomes how much food could you buy with the dollars you have? And maybe it's not a healthy alternative, but some macaroni and cheese. I always use that example. For 99 cents a box, feeds a couple of people, and and produce is expensive, and it goes by the wayside. So a good economy helps us. A bad economy hurts us because you have other options. You have other options in frozen. You have other options in cans as well. So you have to keep that in mind. Um, and that's really. I'll get back to a total market, but I just think this lethargy in the produce business is not going to be short lived. And how I see this going forward is the growers planted with a lot of uncertainty, and many of them cut back, which would, for obvious reasons, if you don't know if you have customers for the stuff, you're going to cut back. So what will that do? Well, if we do get stimulus checks and we do have really a bump in business, there may not be enough stuff to warrant that business. And you may see a spike in prices. And then conversely, on the other side of that, if this thing continues, it really doesn't make a difference if there's 25% less of an item. Because if there's 50% less volume, the markets are going to crash. And that's how it really feels towards me, to me. It could go both ways. We have to come out of it. Uh, could be big highs and low lows throughout the season. Okay, I actually thought, if you've been listening to me for a while, a couple of years ago, I was a big critic about how supermarkets sold online. not really critical, just like I felt that they had to have a good presence. Supermarkets sold online. Not really critical, just like I felt that they had to have a good presence in the stores, and most of them didn't, to sell online. Then lo and behold, we get a pandemic, and before anybody else predicted, I told you that was going to increase online sales. So, in my opinion, we probably put 10 years of growth in online produce shopping into 3 months, and that's not going away. Going for the future, we need a revamp on how we market produce. Maybe I'm sorry, PMA, I'm bashing you again. I've been telling you for years, we have to go direct to consumers, not to each other. It just doesn't work. And there are many, many other platforms. I'll give you an example. I'm on a lot of these Zoom calls. Basically, if anybody asks me, like he sends me a link, I love it because I think I add value to other people, and they definitely add value to me. I learn something new every day. But I am not good at the virtual PMA. I paid for it. I don't think I spent 3 minutes on it. We were vendors at the New York Produce Show. I didn't click it once. I'm a very personable. I want to talk to everybody. Which those Zoom meetings, I mean, they're limited, but I get to speak face to face, even though it's via computer. I like that. I like that much better. All I'm saying is there's going to be new ways to market, and our associations either going to have to learn or they're going to go by the wayside, because there's going to be younger, brighter, smarter people coming up that are coming up with better ways for us to interact and buy and sell produce. So that's my message to the PMA and United. Get your act together, because if consumers buy more produce and we market to consumers and we tell our great story, and I don't have to reiterate how many times I tell you what a great story we have, that is good for all of us. We don't need to market to one another. So take that to the bank. All right. Tom Karst put a question. He always does that. I like his questions. I answered. It says, "What qualities do you think are necessary to be a buyer?" And I'm not going to tell you here, but I wrote an answer, and I'll put that in today's writing portion of the notes. And let's talk about markets. Okay. Red peppers, I got to tell you, if it was a regular year based on supplies, there were none. And excuse me, there were some, not nearly enough in a normal year, but probably enough in this year for this year's business. But I would say if it was regular year's business, I would say 15 pounders, and really in the terminal markets could easily be $50. They still might be 30. We have the end of the California deal. Some guys will go for another couple of weeks, but basically to the end. And we just started in Mexico. I shipped my first stuff out of Mexico this past week, and so it's usually a time which is most demand. This year is a little different, where the least supplies, and that's been the case for as long as I can remember. Cucumbers worked much better last week, but I think the lack of demand is going to pull that market back. I think some guys try to get it up to like 16, but $12 to $14 on supers is probably going to be the right price. I get it. It was so cheap for so long, and you really want to try to get your money back, because I'm going to tell you, $8 FOB supers, $10 FOB supers really don't cover the pick and pack cost. So guys were trying to get some of that money back that they lost early, but the business is just not there. Squash, the same thing. Squash just can't get off the floor. It's still $4 to $6. Plenty of deals around, plenty of squash around. I think the market comes off the floor a little bit. But again, remember, after the holidays, you're going into the first 2 weeks of January, and without these stimulus checks, I really believe all the markets are in a lot of trouble. What else do we have? Eggplants, because they're limited in the South. $8 to $12 FOB, and that market seems. I think eggplants might be a good holiday item. I got to get back to red peppers. Red peppers, limes. You got to think of all the New Year's restaurant item things that are in restaurants, and I just think they're going to go by the wayside when there really are no people to buy them. Cucumbers, egg squash, kabocha squash, another great item. Not too many big ones this year. Always have to hunt them down a little bit, but $8 to $12, basically $8 to $10 FOB on big kabocha, and the rest of the hard squashes in the same range, mostly $10 to $12. Again, that's quoting the large size, but you could pay less whether you want mediums or extra large. So there's always some room there to play around and negotiate. Roma tomatoes, still tight. You could load them in San Diego, Mexico. You could load them in McAllen and Nogales, and quotes are from $18 to $20. And there's another market that usually goes up before a holiday and then drops after the holiday. If my predictions are right with these no business, you might see that drop sooner. So, and I think that's about it. I'm trying to think of something else. Like I say, I always remember after I click this thing off and I say, oh, I didn't say this or I didn't say that. Well, yesterday was my daughter's birthday, 18 years old. My daughter Alexis, I love her so much. She's in college now. My son Christian just got accepted today to University of Texas at San Antonio. So I'll have two of my children in college. So I want to say congratulations and happy birthday to them. And then to all of you, Merry Christmas, because I probably won't see you until after Christmas, right? Or maybe I'll give you a little video before. Maybe I'll dress up in my Santa suit. And so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I love you. I love you all. All my love to you and your family. Produce people are the best people in the world. And take care. Try to make the best of it. We're in this together. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.